What is thalassophobia? There's a difference between being interested in the ocean and all of its darkness and its creatures and being completely terrified of it. When you look up thalassophobia on the internet, the response is simple. A special type of fear that is a constant and intense fear of deep water, such as the ocean or sea. But really, it might be much bigger. So let's get into some of the reasons why you might have thalassophobia. First, and probably the most obvious, would be trauma. Have you ever almost drowned? Have you ever gone through something that might make you terrified of the water? As somebody with submechanophobia, I believe I have it because as a child we went snorkeling on a cruise ship and I dunked my head under the water and there was a fucking airplane and then I freaked out. Oh, and then a mile over there was a sunken ship that I did swim over and that really just, I did not like that at all. So, you know, fears don't exist for no reason, okay? Ever since then, I have been absolutely and completely terrified of objects in water, specifically large man-made objects in water. I don't like not knowing what's underneath my feet as they dangle there aimlessly in the water, and I do not like knowing underneath my feet while they're dangling there aimlessly in the water. So, but as for the thalassophobia fear, which is indeed different from submechanophobia, I don't really experience. I mean, I'm sure if you drop me in the middle of the fucking ocean, like Nemo Point or something, I'd be absolutely terrified. But like looking at photos of the ocean, of like just like the vast blue, like it doesn't really do much for me. It doesn't really freak me out the way that I know it freaks other people out. So, you know, there's always that. When we look at a video like this, what freaks me out isn't the deep water, but it's the raft on top and the dunk under where you can see all of the mechanical bullshit. But for somebody with thalassophobia, they are rather thinking about how deep that water might be. Which is, you know, that's completely fair, but... And honestly, like, if I was there, I'd probably also be thinking about how deep it is, but not from, like, a I'm terrified standpoint, more just from, like, a curiosity standpoint. But I also would not be in this situation because I don't go near things... like, I don't go near, like, animatronics in water, and I go through mechanical things in water, like, that's not, I leave that to, like, the professionals. Another thing that drives the fear of thalassophobia is probably the fact that we only have 10% of the ocean explored. Which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. And I've seen a lot of people be like, it's not like that scary, like the rest of it's just ocean floor, we have most of the animals figured out, but how do you know that? If there was 90% more ocean to be explored, how the fuck do you know if we've found all the animals? All the marine mammals. Like, what if the Mosasaurus is still out there? Or, like, the Megalodon? I know that they're not, but, like, what if something that's like them is out there? That's why you won't find me in the ocean. I'm also not a big fan of having seaweed scraped by my leg while I'm in the fucking water. A lot of people get irritated by the ocean. As I just said, the seaweed is gross, and the sand sticks to you, and you never know when something is gonna brush your leg or what that something is. As a lifelong Floridian who goes to the beach maybe once a year, maybe. I completely understand. But for some, it might literally just be the fact that the water is deep and vast and literally fucking endless. It might be the potential creatures underneath you and around you. I don't like when I'm in the ocean and I can see the fish around me. Like, I know I'm in your home. Like, I know, like, that you live there, but, like, it's freaking me out. Now we're gonna look at a few photos and videos. First, I found this god-awful photo. Pictured is a great big hole underneath the surface of the water. And you can very faintly see the vast ocean behind it. Of course, when I was looking for these photos, it wasn't fun for me. Like, it wasn't, like, something that I wanted to do, because I don't like the ocean. Next, we have a woman dangling from a ship, the deep water behind her, and this one is triggering! This one triggered the shit out of me when I was looking at it. Like, I don't, like, why do you have to be dangling from the ship? Do we not have, like, other hobbies that we could do that are potentially less f***ing terrifying? Sunken ships, don't like those! I'm sorry if the lighting is weird and, like, yellow. It is so dark outside right now because it just started thunderstorming, so of course now I'm gonna look like fucking SpongeBob. I look like the Big Bob. Last, here is a photo of a man's feet just dangling there in the water. This does encapsulate the fear perfectly, in my opinion, as you can only see a few feet into the water, and everything after it is completely dark and empty and vast and void. The causes of thalassophobia are not completely clear to scientists, and the reasoning varies from person to person. Research suggests that it might be just from like pop culture, from like movies like Jaws. Stories of disaster also contribute heavily to thalassophobia, such as the Titanic, and the Titanic sisters. So the Titanic, the Britannic, and the Olympic. I'm pretty sure all three of those sunk, which is really fucking crazy because they were sisters. So the story of like the Costa Concordia, like that kind of stuff is really freaky for like anybody, but especially for people that are afraid of the ocean in any form. The Titanic is heavily talked about and theorized by people with this fear. Like if you go into like the Reddit for thalassophobia, there is a lot of talk of the Titanic. And I do think it has something to do with like the ocean is like mighty. Like that shit, like I see a lot of photos and videos of like waves just like lapping over big ships. It is like news reports. Like it's not great when you hear of like a great white shark attack. And I do have my opinion on sharks, okay? I love sharks. They're my favorite animal. I literally have sharks sitting in the background. Like I love sharks, and I do think that if you are getting attacked by a great white, it's probably something you're doing to make it feel threatened, because they do not like human meat, or they're just curious about you. But that is also not something that, like, they're very, like, intelligent creatures, and they can differentiate between, like, human legs and, like, a seal. They can do that. For the most part, you're probably antagonizing it. Same with, like, alligator attacks. You're probably in the same area as a child, or, like, a baby alligator, or, like, a baby, like, you know? So just keep that in mind and do not feed alligators. If you go into the Everglades, I live in the Everglades, okay? I live in Florida. And I see a lot of people feeding alligators. And it's like, are you fucking stupid? And then you wonder why they're gonna try and come into your boat. Because they are looking for food, you fucking stupid idiots. And it's the same shit with sharks. Usually people don't feed sharks because, you know, common sense. But you are probably doing something to piss it off if it attacks you. Especially people in Australia. Like, you are bred. That is like District 1. Okay, you are fucking bred to survive. And you're being attacked by a shark. You know not to fuck with sharks. I'm just a Florida girl who doesn't know shit, okay? People who are afraid of violent death, in this case, obviously drowning, are also likely to develop thalassophobia. Genetics may even play a role, which is really interesting, as well as personal mental state and personal upbringings and experiences, and something you went through when you were younger might trigger it, or something you go through when you're older, because fears can grow over time. I wasn't always someone that had some mechanophobia. It happened to me on that trip when we were snorkeling. And I know that that can happen for many other fears too, like arachnophobia. You might not always be scared of spiders. I'm not scared of spiders. I think they're quite beautiful. I have a black widow tattoo. I love spiders. I think they're beautiful creatures, but I'm sure if I had a bad experience with one, I'd probably be an arachnophobe. So it's just how our experiences form us and develop us throughout our life, which is very interesting. And same with like our interests, fears, they all develop throughout life. Psychological theories from multiple sources believe that it might be a primal fear, so like an ancestral fear, as we as humans hunt on land, and that's like our thing. We're not sea creatures. And we rely on our eyesight to collect food. Because of this, it's evolutionarily, why is that a hard word to say? It is coded into our lives that the deep sea opposes the environment that we are supposed to be living in, that we are designed by God or the universe, whatever you believe in, to be living in. We're not sea creatures. It would be like a shark coming onto land. It's gonna be scared. you know? Or like a whale coming to shore, like would it not be afraid? And so it's the same for us but reverse. When great white sharks wash up on a beach, which happens a lot, it just happened here in Florida a couple weeks ago. In the videos it looks terrified. Lakes, oceans, boats, swimming, scuba diving, submarines. Don't talk to me about submarines. Sea creatures or photographs, they trigger this fear greatly. And thalassophobia and stomachanophobia have a lot of things in common, and one thing is fucking submarines. Even discussing it could be enough to trigger a person. I'm not quite that bad, but as I said, it is subjective from person to person. But many people get thalassophobia and aquaphobia confused. Aquaphobia is characterized by just like a general feeling of panic due to water, and thalassophobia deals more with the deep ocean and the vastness of the water. I actually think thalassophobia is also kind of a fear of the dark, and because the fear of the dark, you're not afraid of the dark. You're not afraid of being in the dark. You're afraid of what is in the dark with you. And I think that's what it is with thalassophobia too. You're not necessarily afraid of the ocean, you're afraid of what might be around you. Listen, it makes sense. Like I said, the genetics conversation of thalassophobia is really interesting to me. It's strange how our ancestral traits from generations ago filter down through generation after generation and can develop itself in the form of our fears. If you have thalassophobia, an ancestor might have had it too. If you have thalassophobia, something that you went through may have formed that fear, or something an ancestor went through may have formed that fear. If you have anxiety and thalassophobia, they might be playing off of one another. If you have thalassophobia, it might trigger anxiety. If you have anxiety, it might trigger thalassophobia. I feel like that goes hand in hand with each other. Sorry about my voice. Like, I'm still sick, okay? Like, I've been sick for like 4 weeks now, and I've been the laziest motherfucker of my life. And my throat is bothering me so much. And I've been working a lot too, and I have to talk a lot because I'm a hostess, so it's like, you know what I mean? Fuck my life. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Thalassophobia. Am I a thalassophobe? No. No, I've never been through something that would make me a thalassophobe. But again, like I said, if you threw me into Nemo Point, I'd probably shit myself. So, which is like a general human reaction, I feel like, being in that kind of situation. So, and I'm sure that the Titanic survivors probably had some form of thalassophobia, which, you know, that would make sense, because that's a really traumatic thing to go through. Costa Concordia survivors as well, like, don't think I forgot about the analog horror stuff. I love making analog horror content. It's probably my favorite, and it's the one that does the best on this channel, which is really awesome. So it's a win-win. I have a really big video that I'm working on right now. It's gonna be probably like an hour long, and it's just about the Mandela catalog. And I'm going through each episode I'm going through theories, I'm going through backstory, just all of it, pretty much. So I am very excited about that. I haven't had a lot of time to work on it because I've been working my ass off, and I'm planning a trip next month, and when I'm on my trip, that is when I'm hoping for that video to be up, because I'm filming that video like next week, and then I want to take a long time to edit it, and then I will try to have that up when I'm away. Okay, elephant in the room. Thank you for 800 subscribers! What the fucking hell? What the fucking fuck? I never thought I would ever start a YouTube channel, and the fact that I have, and the fact that people like me, it's just it's a little surreal for me, okay? But I'm so grateful. I am so freaking grateful for everything. Of course, my lighting is changing now. But we're at the end of the video, so it really doesn't matter. I am just so elated. Only a month ago, I was at like, I was just hitting 600. So that's, I mean, just, I hope I'm hitting 1,000. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Stop talking to me. I can't believe I'm saying 1,000. I hope I hit 1,000 in the next month and a half or so. Thanks for being here, and thanks for listening to me talk about the ocean and stuff. I even put my blue lights on to make it look like we were underwater. It's really nice. nerdy. I work a lot next week, so if I'm like a little all over the place, I apologize. But listen, a bitch is trying to make money. I'm trying to move out next year, so no, but seriously, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please talk to me. I love talking to you guys. It's like my favorite thing to do in the entire world, next to creating content. I am forever grateful for all 817 of you now, I think. Have a good rest of your weekend.